In this video, I'm going to ask you to be a text detective on 1984. In the text, there are many specific parts of dialogue and stage directions that are full of clues and ideas. These are clues into how characters can be played and how moments can be staged. This is quite a complex text, but there are many study guides and literary materials to help you get your head round it. I recommend reading the original novel by George Orwell before delving into all the available resources so you can have a deep understanding of what 1984 is all about. A note on the text. In the playtext, firstly have a look at the "A note on the text" before the first page. This gives some ideas about what punctuation infers throughout the play. The use of a comma on its own line is a curious one, and a bit of a Duncan Macmillan trademark, which he uses in all his writing. Anytime that you come across a comma on its own line, consider what it's about and how you can play it. The child. When the child reappears in the room on page 22, she exclaims and blows a whistle. This is the first use of constant capital letters in the text. Consider just how stark, loud, shrill or ugly these lines by the child might be. After all, what she's saying is very sinister and has huge ramifications. Where do you think you are? When the telescreen speaks for the first time, a woman's voice takes over from it and asks Winston, "Where do you think you are?" This line serves as a significant and repeated motif which is asked to Winston throughout the play. Is there a similarity in how this question is asked, or is it different every time? Submergence. On page 36, the stage direction states, "Suddenly, everything submerges." This is a very abstract and poetical phrase. What's the connotation here? Is this a reference to the sound world, or the physical world, or both? What do you think's actually happening in the narrative here? Winston Comes To. The stage direction, "Winston Comes To," is a recurring one in the text. It first appears on page 38 after Winston reads the note from Julia. What do you make of this? And importantly, how do you show this if you're acting Winston? Is this a physical shift, an energy shift, or a change in Winston's breathing? And how can design help amplify this moment? Winston's exclamation. On page 50, Winston makes an exclamation to Julia. Focus on the time around this line, the acceleration of the text up to it, and the time and space after it's said. How hurtful is this to Julia, and how surprised is Winston by what he's just said? What does this say about how Winston truly feels about Julia? This moment feels like a pivotal point in their relationship. Explore the scale of this moment, both vocally and physically, and how long the comma rests are around it. Silence. Winston visits O'Brien and he turns off the telescreen. On page 57, the stage direction states, "The first real silence in the play." Consider how revelatory this sentence is, in terms of what the sound must have been like for the past 44 pages. What does this say about the sound design, the intensity of the dialogue, and the noise on stage up until this point? Julia's line. In the section at O'Brien's apartment, notice how many lines Julia has. And what does she say? What does this say about her feelings towards Winston, and about how far she'll go to fight the party? Capital letters. Have a detailed look at the stage direction on page 69 after Julia and Winston are discovered. Also, have a look at the voice dialogue here. It's in capital letters, but it doesn't have exclamation marks, like similar text had had previously. How might you interpret the speaking of this text? Is it the child's voice? Is it shouted or spoken somehow differently? Why do you think there are no exclamation marks here? The stage directions are very powerful here, and there is a huge shift. How can you capture this chaos through acting? How could you create it with design? Winston is a wreck. During the final section of the play, there's a stage direction on page 85 that states, "Winston is a wreck, barely alive." How do you show this in performance? How far can you push the extremes of this without causing personal injury or damage to the actor? What's possible here? Full circle. In the final 3 pages, we come round full circle to a place that's recognisable as the start of the play. What are the profound implications of this? When are we? And has anything changed since the last time that we were here? Break down and analyse these pages carefully and draw some conclusions about the piece from it. The final line. What's the significance of the final line? And when's it been spoken before by a thought criminal? Is the final line an echo of a previous moment in the play? Can you recreate this previous moment? Or does this ending need to be different? So there we go. Lots and lots of bits in the play that require investigating and realising. Take your time and work through each bit carefully. It's an incredibly complex and disorientating text, much like Winston's world. I suggest you piece it together bit by bit and make some bold choices about how certain moments can be staged. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you, please give it a like. Do check out these other videos and subscribe. And if you want to support what I do on the channel, you can click on the link in the video description. All the best.